Have you ever paid too much for something and really it wasn't worth what you paid for? Well, that's called a ripoff. It was a ripoff. And we're going to talk about that expression and a little story about how I got ripped off buying this umbrella in this video. Let's go. Hey there, English speakers. Jesse here from Sweed Academy, helping you get to that next level in your English. And the best way to become more fluent in another language is to learn these idioms and fixed expressions. And that's what I want to do on this channel. So if you're new here, consider subscribing so you can get new videos and new expressions every week. But today I want to talk about paying too much for something. Paying too much money for something that's not worth what you paid for. That's called a ripoff. A ripoff. If something is a ripoff, it means that you've paid too much for it. We can also say that as a phrasal verb, meaning I got ripped off. I got ripped off. To be ripped off is more intentional. It's more like a con or a scam. But if you paid too much for something, it's a ripoff. So the other day, it started raining. The rain wasn't in the forecast, so I didn't bring an umbrella. But it started raining, and I thought, well, I need to buy an umbrella. Here in Spain, they have these shops that they affectionately call chinos, which means like China shops or Chinese shops. I think there's some bikes coming. And in these shops, you can buy food, snacks, laundry detergent, toys, household items, really anything. But the things that they sell are generally really cheap. Cheaply made, cheap quality, and a cheap price. I knew this going into the shop. I knew it wasn't worth what I was going to pay, but it started to rain. I needed an umbrella, and I bought one. It was €3. I got outside and opened the umbrella. By the time I crossed the street, less than 3 minutes later, this happened. Has this ever happened to you? A big gust of wind came, folded it up, folded it backwards, and inside out, and I didn't have an umbrella anymore, and it was broken and busted, and on top of that, it had stopped raining by now. The rain only lasted like 2 minutes. I was a little upset, so what did I do? I wanted to get my money's worth. To get my money's worth is to make what you spent worth it, to get the value. So I continued to walk down the street all the way home with my broken umbrella in the sun because I spent €3 on an umbrella that lasted 3 minutes, and so I paid €1 a minute. How about that? But I kept the umbrella open, walked with my chin up, my chest puffed out, proudly, whether people looked or not. And now I'm using it for a YouTube video. How about you? Have you ever paid too much for something? Have you ever bought something that's a ripoff? Now, this shop, I wouldn't say they ripped me off because I knew I wasn't getting the greatest quality umbrella. And they didn't intentionally take my money for something that, it wasn't a scam. It was just a low quality item. But nonetheless, the umbrella was a ripoff. Have you ever paid too much for something? Did you ever buy something that was a ripoff? Let me know in the comments below and share your story, whether it's funny or not. Maybe this was funny, maybe it wasn't. But share your story below. Also, like, subscribe, and above all, keep using these and keep speaking because you already know English. I know this. You already know English. Now let's communicate. I'll see you next time. To be ripped off is more generally intentional, and it's an intentional con or scam. Or scam.